Welcome, and thank you for attending this Start Quarries presentation. We respectfully ask for your patience and cooperation in following the meeting agenda and holding comments and queries until the question and answer session at the end. Start Quarries was established in 2001, and Daleview Quarry in particular in 2011. This presentation provides a background to Start Quarries as a company, our social initiatives and compliance matters relating to and of importance to you as residents. Start Quarries has been running a bursary program since 2010, identifying candidates who have the drive to succeed but are hindered by financial circumstances. Previously disadvantaged candidates are prioritized and are sourced from the communities where the quarries are located. Start Quarries has helped law students, mechanical engineering students, a geology student, and one candidate studying travel and tourism to achieve their qualifications. Start Quarries is proud to support South Africa's bright stars of the future through this ongoing bursary program. Start Quarries built the Isaac Makana Day Care Center in Izinyoga in collaboration with the Department of Mineral Resources. A complete new build, this center with ample classroom space, ablutions and playground facilities is an asset to the community. The Minister of Social Development was present at the handover to accept ongoing custodianship of the center. Start Quarries sponsored a local rugby club based in Zinyoga, the Helpers Rugby Club. New rugby poles were installed at the club and the whole team was kitted out with new uniforms. Simunye Daycare Center in Zamomple is a project focusing on the improvement of grassroots education. This center provides daycare and daily meals to approximately 60 children. The entire property was walled and a playground established for the children's safety and enjoyment. Toys and educational materials were also provided to the center. Nogokanya Daycare Center was a complete new build which Start Quarries took on and handed over to the community. The daycare center is an asset to the community, and Start Quarries was very proud to hand over this facility, which has allowed these children to be taught in an environment that will see them prosper. Tables, chairs, learning materials, as well as a full kitchen setup was included. Start Group organizes and sponsors an annual rugby tournament in Stutterheim for rugby players of a young age to encourage the development of sport in rural schools. This is a day that is an absolute pleasure to a group of Start Group staff who help to coach, encourage, feed and cheer on the young boys. A new computer lab was built at Kwalasela School in Gwechana. The lab was equipped with 12 computers, a projector and a printing facility. Start Quarries also paid for Wi-Fi connection for the school for 5 years. This has served as a draw card for the school, enabling it to offer a much higher standard of education to potential scholars. Current daycare center upgrade projects are ongoing in Chuchu Village and Mount Pleasant Village. You've seen that Start Quarries has focused its development projects largely on provision of daycare center facilities to safeguard our young children and give them a positive start to their education. The bursary program reinforces our commitment to the education of the young and rising stars in our community. The sporting initiatives focus on developing sport as a team-building activity in communities where facilities and funding are often lacking. Moving on to the compliance matters that relate to Daleview Quarry, Start Quarries authorizations regarding the property being mined include mining permit, prospecting rights and mining rights valid for 30 years from the Department of Mineral Resources. Departure for land use in terms of SPUMLA for the purpose of mining from the BCMM. SAPS registration as an explosives user on the property. For any mining applications, the Department of Mineral Resources processes require that a public participation process be followed. This has been adhered to provide residents and other affected parties with means to give input on the applications for mining activities. All new mining activities are advertised through the local newspaper. Boards are erected and notifications are sent via registered letters to the landowner and affected government departments, environmental affairs, water, forestry and land affairs. A heritage assessment is also performed to eliminate the possibility of the area having fossils that need protection. The Department of Mineral Resources is vigilant with ensuring that the high standards of the mining industry are maintained at all quarries. Audits are conducted at the quarries, and the quarry is rated on many areas, including environmental impact, health and safety, blasting impacts and processes, and dust management. Daleview Quarry has consistently been rated as compliant and is always seeking to make improvements from a legal compliance perspective. Community concerns relate mainly to the blasting activities of stud quarries. For this reason, the process for preparation and execution of a blast is explained here in detail. Preparing and drilling. The blast is planned. Blast notices are sent to all relevant parties. The area for drilling is prepared. Holes are drilled with a drill rig. All holes are checked before the blasting day and weather conditions are confirmed. On blasting day, explosives arrive in a pump truck. The emulsion is pumped into the drilled holes. All blast holes are then registered on the electronic system and checked. The site is evacuated. Only the blasting contractor is allowed on site. All entrances are closed and guarded to prevent unauthorized entry. 2 seismographs are set up at the residence in preparation for the blast. An audible siren is used to ensure that all are aware that blasting is about to commence. Blasting contractor sets off the blast. After the blast, the blasting contractor inspects the blast. The contractor ensures that the site is safe for staff to return, and a declaration that the site is safe is signed. The mine manager also inspects the site. The mine manager notifies the guards that they may now allow access to the quarry site. Only electronic detonators are used for all blasting activities at Daleview Quarry. This results in decreased noise and ground vibration, but does bear a much greater cost of blasting. Another means of reducing noise and ground vibration is the use of smaller drill holes. This increases the cost of blasting, but reduces the amount of explosives used in the blast, thereby increasing the cost to stud quarries. Electronic detonation and smaller drill holes are not standard in the mining industry, but stud quarries carries these increased costs of working to ensure there is no effect on the community. The blast is also stemmed to a greater degree. This means that the explosive gel is not filled all the way to the top of each hole, but a space is left and later filled with stemming material such as sand. This has the effect of containing the blast in terms of noise, dust and loose rock material called fly rock. This practice has the desired effect of containment, but increases the percentage of large boulders in the blast material, which are expensive and difficult to handle. Another expense stud quarries absorb to ensure that there is no effect on the community. 2 seismographs are erected at every blast outside various residences in the nearest areas to Daleview Quarry. This is the internationally accepted standard of measurement of ground vibration caused by blasting. Independent contractors report back on the reading by submitting these reports. This practice has been standard at Daleview Quarry since blasting commenced and ensures accurate recording of ground vibration during blasting. Communities are more than 500 meters from the blast source in compliance with DMRE recommendations. All staff are evacuated from the site on the day of blasting, and Stud Quarries makes use of an experienced blasting contractor, thereby assuring that best blasting practice is followed. Ground vibration and noise during blasting is monitored with every blast. 2 seismograph readings are taken at the communities which are closest during every blast at Daleview Quarry. This records blast vibration and blast noise. The DMRE has analysed all blast data and performed site inspections, and no fault has been found on the part of Stad Quarries. The Chief Inspector of Mines for the Eastern Cape has been on site on 2 occasions to verify this. BCMM officials have also been on site on blast days to witness the blasting activity and the measuring of the blast vibration. A group tour of both BCMM and DEFF officials was conducted at Daleview Quarry in order to assess compliance. Regular audits by the DMRE on all aspects of mine compliance, as well as health and safety, have resulted in excellent audit results. DEFF has also conducted site visits which have not resulted in any fault being found or actions being taken against Stad Quarries. Independent reports have been submitted to DMRE for analysis to confirm that it is physically impossible at the distances involved for the blasting activities at Daleview Quarry to cause physical damage to homes in the surrounding communities. The vibration and noise levels are too low by the required standard, and the distance is just too far. Dust monitoring is an important priority in any quarry operation. Dust is monitored on site for occupational health and safety. This is done at intervals as prescribed by the DMRE every quarter. Testing is performed by an independent inspectorate appointed occupational hygienist that reports directly to the DMRE. Dust that could affect the communities is monitored in accordance with the NEAS program, which requires dust fallout buckets to be set up in 8 wind directions and monitored monthly. This is a very costly exercise, as buckets must be removed monthly and sent to an accredited laboratory, Chemtech in Pretoria, for testing. Results of the dust surveys are uploaded onto the NEAS system and audited and monitored by the BCMM Environmental Pollution Officers and DEFF. DEFF also uses the BCMM air pollution controllers to enforce this monitoring and reporting. It's important to note that Stad Quarries is not the only potential source of dust in the area. Other sources that cannot be ignored are untarred gravel access road, Pottinger Road, that serves large businesses such as WBHO Quarry, Lafarge, Corribrick and the municipal Sabunga Pit. Trucks using this road generate dust. This is an issue that BCMM should address. Mining activities below Daleview Quarry generate dust from their excavations. Daleview Quarry processes the rock on site using a state-of-the-art static crusher. This plant has very advanced safety mechanisms, as well as built-in dust suppression. All internal access roads and stockpiles are wet daily using a water truck with water sourced from the quarry pit. Another point of interest is environmental noise monitoring. Noise generated by Daleview Quarry on non-blasting days. Noise produced on non-blasting days is from the drilling and crushing operations. Stad Quarries operates on the site during normal work hours only, despite the norm in the industry being 24-hour operations. Environmental noise has been monitored on a continuous basis over a 2-day period in normal working conditions by an HWSETA and a Department of Labour approved inspection authority. The purpose of this was to assess if the noise produced by the quarry falls within the requirements of the Environmental Conservation Act and SANS guidelines. Monitoring was done over this period at the residential areas, College Road and Panorama Drive. Results of this survey formed part of reports submitted to the BCMM. The results found that the readings at the residences all fall within the zoning requirements. Therefore, the noise generated by the quarry cannot be classified as disturbing noise due to it falling within the legislated requirements. Another issue which has been raised as a community concern in the past is the proximity of Daleview Quarry to the nature reserve, which lies between the quarry and the residences. The King Williamstown Nature Reserve forms a natural buffer between Daleview Quarry and the communities. DEFF has been on site to inspect and verify that Stad Quarries has not encroached on the reserve in any way and is satisfied that Stad Quarries is operating within the approved mining area. BCMM, as the custodian of the reserve in conjunction with DEFF, should look at ways to restore this green space. Stud Quarries has provided proof of the declaration of the area as a nature reserve and included this in an objection to SANRAL when the intention was to build a bypass road which would have passed through the nature reserve. Stud Quarries at its own expense assisted the BCMM and DEFF in the sourcing of the historical documents to prove the proclamation of the nature reserve and to demarcate on an official map its boundaries. The planning and development of Daleview Quarry is in a direction away from the nature reserve and the residences towards the historic mining area, the Lafarge Quarry direction. Daleview Quarry is developing in a direction away from residential areas. There is no risk that the quarry will advance closer to the houses than it currently is. As previously mentioned, the nature reserve creates this natural buffer zone. Lafarge Quarry lies alongside Daleview Quarry and was in existence long before Daleview Quarry was established, as can be seen in the aerial photograph. This picture of the office housing all the electrics and the controls for the site shows that the building is within 150 meters of the center of the blast area. The following video clip of a blast from 2019, taken from the CCTV camera on the building, shows that the building has not suffered damage due to the blasting activity despite being so close to the blast area. Stud Quarries hopes that this presentation has given all present an overview of the quarry operation, how it's run, and the stringent governance of the quarry by the DMRE. The DMRE is the competent authority to ensure compliance on all mines within South Africa. While we are required to consult with other government departments, the DMRE bears the responsibility of monitoring the quarry activity in its entirety. This also includes the implementation and monitoring of NEMA. After December 2014, this responsibility shifted from DEFF to the DMRE for all quarries in South Africa. Stud Quarries is very well respected in the mining industry due to its high standards of compliance and community involvement. Thank you for your support.